Okay, let's unpack this. Today's deep dive is into a really fascinating and honestly timely field, moral educational neuroscience.
Absolutely. It's got huge potential, but also some pretty significant limitations we need to talk about.
Exactly. And we're doing this through the lens of a great paper by Professor Hyoungbin Park from Seoul National University of Education. It's called Moral Educational Neuroscience: Its Possibilities and Limitations at the Crossroads of Science and Myth.
A very fitting title.
Right. So our mission here is to figure out how understanding the brain could, genuinely help moral education.
But also how to steer clear of the myths, the misconceptions that can really derail things.
So let's start there with those myths. The paper talks about neuromyths, which sounds, well, concerning.
It is. These are these widely believed ideas about the brain that sound sort of scientific but are actually wrong or hugely oversimplified.
Uh-huh.
And they can actually end up harming teaching practices. The OECD's Brain and Learning Project flagged this.
Right.
And people like Paul Howard-Jones point out that even teachers, well-meaning teachers, often believe them.
Like the classic, we only use 10% of our brain thing. Or being strictly left-brained or right-brained.
Exactly those. And they aren't just harmless little fictions. They can lead to teaching strategies that just don't work, especially when you think about something as complex as morality.
It makes you wonder if trying to connect brain science and education is even possible sometimes. Remember J.T. Brewer, way back in 97?
Yeah.
He called it a bridge too far. Basically said neuroscience wasn't really ready to offer concrete guidance for the classroom.
And, at the time, maybe he had a point. The science was still developing rapidly.
But things have moved on.
Definitely.
Yeah?
Researchers like Usha Goswami argue pretty strongly now that we do need that bridge. Neuroscience can offer real insights.
Into things like language, reading.
Yes, and crucially for us today, the link between our emotions and how we learn. People like Imordino Yang and Damasio have done vital work here.
That connection between feeling and thinking.
Hmm.
It feels central to morality, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Our emotions aren't just like background noise. They're fundamental to making decisions, processing ethical dilemmas, learning right from wrong.
So if the science can help, how do we actually build that bridge? How do we connect brain insights to moral education without falling into those traps, those neuromyths?
That's the million-dollar question, really. Horvath and Donahue suggest thinking about 4 different types of bridges. Understanding these helps us be more precise.
Okay, 4 types. What's the first one?
First is the normative bridge. This is the idea that neuroscience could directly tell us what we should be doing in education. But it's tricky. Like, medication might help a child focus, which enables learning, but the neuroscience itself doesn't tell us what moral values to teach.
I see. It can enable the process of learning, but not dictate the content of the values.
Exactly. It describes how, not what ought to be, a critical distinction for ethics.
Got it. What's the second type?
That's the conceptual bridge. Here, neuroscience